So I just turned my voice on. So I do see that. 1 second. There we go. All right, now y'all should be able to hear. Y'all should be able to hear nice and clear. If you can hear me, hear me. Send me your name, email, and number if you want access into this community today. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm giving a crazy discount here this morning. I'm about to drop some crazy games to you guys here this morning to set you guys up for success. So that's what I want you guys to do real quick for me. Send me your name, email, and number if you want to get access into this community. If you're serious about locking in, leveling yourself up, go ahead and send me that. We got Richard. Richard went ahead and sent me that. So Richard, you're gonna be the first person I throw a good price at, real good price. But I'm gonna give you guys this game. If how many people been watching my story? Make sure that you guys are always watching my story because you never know when I'm gonna drop a couple of free plays. Right. So I got a couple people that sent me mentor, 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 mentor. All right. So DM me that word mentor right now. Get access into this community. We teach almost every day, but I got some. I'm fired up here this morning. I'm gonna say that. There's gonna be a couple things that I drop. So if you're here on the YouTube, you should be getting ready to see my shared screen. If you're here on the live, you can also simultaneously have the YouTube up. So I'm here on it right now. First thing that I want to touch on ticker wise is Amazon. I want to talk about Amazon here this morning. As you can see, I've been up for a little bit of time this morning. So I'm just gearing up and getting ready for a few things. So I want to talk about AMZNs because if we can break below 241, 241 is going to be the level that we watch and potentially see a move down there to 236, 233. So I want you guys to monitor and watch those key levels, right? And when you are watching Amazon, I'm looking at a couple of different things, right? Uh, First thing that I want to see is that 241. Second thing I want to see 236. So after 236, we'll be looking at 233. So after 236, we're going to be looking at 233. So I want you to monitor and watch that. I do anticipate that we can see a move to the downside, right? If we can get a break underneath 241, right? So if we get a break underneath 241, I do anticipate that we can see a move to the downside, right? So I do want to make that note just so everybody's crystal clear with me and knows exactly what's happening and going on below that 230, 241. So watch 241. Next stock, I want you guys, we covered this last night. We did a free class. I may drop the replay if we can get, let's see here. How many people do we have on here? Continue to add people as much as possible. Also, I want you guys to make sure you send me your emails and your full name. You're going to get access into the community with a great price today. Classes will start back. We're going to do some popping up. We're going to do some pop-ups. We got a great price list that we put together. So I put together a comprehensive price list, right? That goes over exactly where the best price is to get tickers and telling you why. I feel as if in this space so many times people are getting education, but it's not teaching them as to how to do it, right? That's the reason why the volume of classes are so much, but you always had an opportunity to run it back. We got a cloud full of hundreds of classes, right? Hundreds of classes, right? So I want you guys to make sure that you guys are paying attention and being here as much as you can. Because one thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to provide the information over time. Whether the market's up, down, sideways, green, red, whatever you want to call it, we're going to be here, right? Nonstop, right? Nonstop every single day to try to provide you as much value as possible, right? To make sure that you understand the things that are happening and going on. So let's talk Oracle this morning. So we're going to talk some fundamental things and we're going to talk some technical things. So when it comes to Oracle, the magic level, and let me pull up my Yahoo Finance, is going to be 215, right? 215 is that level that I've been waiting to see Oracle unload at, but not just from a technical perspective. I want to take you guys through a few things from a fundamental perspective. If you remember, we called Oracle calls to the upside, right? So when you take a look at the statistics tab, couple things that I want to make note of for you here. Right. This is still today an expensive business compared to what it's earned. Now, if you think back to August 31st, the end of the quarter in 2024, the end of the third quarter of 2024, when you think about that, right, I'm seeing a couple of things here. The business today is obviously more expensive, but I want to talk about valuations and good prices. So one of the main things that I've always told people, and for my people that's listening here on YouTube, what I want you guys to do is like and share this video because we're about to hit 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So I want to make sure that you guys are following me here on YouTube. You never know, I'm going to be dropping a series of informational videos to help you guys expand your education. So underneath 216, to me, this is an easy move down to about 198. So I've been watching the selling pressure on Oracle for the past couple of weeks. I've highlighted Oracle a few different times, puts wise. So I want you guys to be able to know and see exactly what's on this move to the downside, what we can expect, right? So I definitely want you guys, once again, this is Oracle. Right? A good price to get Oracle is not even above 200, funny enough, right? To contrary to what people believe. So Oracle has came down here, right? It came here and rallied from 120 bucks since April 7th. But what if I told you that you could get Oracle back at 150 or 160? Would you take it? I want to see it by comments in the chat. If I told you that you could get Oracle at 150, right, or 160, would you take that? Would you take Oracle at 150, 160 bucks? Would you take Oracle at those levels? Real question, right? Real question. Want to see, would you take Oracle at 150 or 160 bucks? That's a real question right there. Would you take it? Those are my thoughts. Would you take that position at those levels? Any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions? Would you take that position at those levels? How many people would get Oracle? I got some yeses over here. Yeses, yeses, yeses. Okay. So to me, I would definitely say, I mean, it's worth getting Oracle down there at that spot. I think it's well within the range. So two things that I want to stress right here on Oracle, right, is below this 225. We're looking at Oracle. Thank you for that, guys, for those responses. We're looking for Oracle to come down all the way to 216, right? So 216. And then after that, there's nothing stopping Oracle from getting towards 198. So I do, like I said, I see this sell set up here right now on Oracle, right, with this move here on the downside action, right? So Oracle is a stock that I do think that we'll continue to see some selling in. So pay attention to it. And as far as the drawdown menu, so we covered that. Oracle's down $1 here in the pre-market, so nothing too crazy. Next ticker we want to cover is ticker MU, right? So let's talk MU, Micron Technologies, right? So I want you guys to look at Micron. So we bounced off this 237 level, so hear me carefully and closely. The only way I'm really looking to go short on MU is below that 237, right? Below that 237 is where I'm looking to actually go ahead and get in on a short side. I think MU is overran, and I'm just waiting to see a pullback on this name, right? Like, I think it's just a matter of time, right? Not a matter of if, just a matter of more so when. So if you take the most recent bottom and you draw a diagonal trend line, these are things we teach directly inside the community. Almost every single class, I feel as if I'm drawing a diagonal trend line. So just a couple special announcements. I am going to be doing a refresher on the diagonal trend line class, right? I am going to be doing a refresher of the diagonal trend line class to make sure that no one misses anything. I just dropped a couple notes from Walter Bloomberg. So I am going to be doing a refresher right here on the diagonal trend lines. So I do want to make that note, right? For those that are here listening live, if you are inside the community, we are going to be doing a refresher on the diagonal trend line class over the next week. If you notice as well, for my people that's in the community, we already dropped the schedule for next week. We got an action-packed week next week. It's beginners week, so it's back to the basics. So make sure you guys are ready to go. For next week, all your classes are recorded, and we teach day in, day out to try to provide you the most valuable information there is, and just setting yourself up for success, right? So good morning to everyone that's getting ready to come on here. I'm letting people know, hey, we are on the YouTube and the live this morning, right? We are on the YouTube and we are on the live. So let's talk this diagonal trend line here. Notice that MU, so if MU breaks below that 237, it will invalidate that trend line. So unless it's getting below 237, I'm not looking to take a put on it, but it has to get below 237 for me to look to go short. Similar to that 216, right? But I'm looking at a re-entry on Oracle below 225 today, and looking to take this down on a $9 move to the downside. So that's your Oracle free play MU. If it breaks below 237, cool. If it doesn't, we won't touch it, right? So now you have your entries as far as where you're actually looking to go ahead and get this specific name, right? Next thing, we're going to talk about Coinbase, MicroStrategy, MSTU. Let's talk about it. So I want everyone to pull up Coin. I want you guys to pull up Coin real quick. Go to Coin, right? So look at Coinbase. I want you guys to also pull up Conal, ticker CONL. So don't just pull up. So I'm gonna give you guys an alley, right? This isn't necessarily anything you got to act on today, but I'm gonna tell you guys here right now is with this ticker, Coinbase, also following Conal, very kind of similar setup here on MU comparable as far as holding at the diagonal trend line. I want you guys to know that the best price to get Conal is in between 10 to 12 bucks. A good price is in between 17 to $22, right? So hear that again. A good price is right around 17 to $22 for Conal, right? But between 10, like around 9 to 12 bucks is really going to be your best price. So I want to make that note. So if you're looking at Coinbase here, right, from an individual equity perspective, there's a couple things I want to point out. All right. So Coinbase is a $300 company here today. So if let's say Conal was to come down here to 9, 12 bucks, you would be looking at a Coinbase less than $200. So with Coinbase, I want to stress this. Conal, if you're looking to get exposure into Conal, what I'm going to say to you is right now, don't do it yet. But Conal will and potentially may have an opportunity to open up the doors for you to be able to get this ticker sub 20, right? So sub 20 is possible, right? Not going to say it's guaranteed, but it is possible. A good price is like you may never see 9 to 12, right? You may never get that. 17 to me is likely. If someone based it off percentages and said, yo, L, what's the percentage basis that you think you can get Conal at that point? I think there's a 60 to 65% chance you can get it at 17. So it's increasing, right? Where would that lead us down to? Right there around 230. What's the level to pay attention to on Coinbase? You should be putting this level on your notes. If Coinbase cracks below, listen here now. If Coinbase goes ahead and it cracks below and gets below this 282, it will draw down all the way to about 248 and 234. So I'm going to say that here now. If Coinbase somehow is able to lose 280, 282, it's going to come down another 40 bucks. So I wanted to stress that. Next ticker, we're going to come here to CoreWeave and Circle Internet Group, and we're going to round about to MicroStrategy because you got 3 things to cover there. But while I have your attention, let me go ahead and get CoreWeave and Circle Internet Group. Like I said with new IPOs, guys, I said this back in June at the mastermind that we had in Atlanta, right? Steven was there. We had Miss Ivanette was there. Mandy was there. Miss Kim was there. We had countless of people in the building. Just names. DeAndre was there. I'm just thinking about everyone who was in there at that time. We had Shani was there. Just thinking about everybody who was in there. We had a ton of people, right? And those were just a couple of people that I named. But the room was packed out. Mr. Blunt was there. I'm just thinking of everybody that was there, and there's so many names running through my head right now. But just know it was about 30 people there. We had Mr. Herbert Campbell. We had Miss Courtney Williams. She was in the building. I'm just thinking about them, right? So when we covered CoreWeave and Circle Internet Group, that was 4 or 5 months ago. Here we are now. And I told people verbatim, do not get caught in these new IPOs. Now, the same way I said don't get caught in them, let's talk about where you should be looking to get exposure into CoreWeave and Circle Internet Group. Well, as of yesterday, both of these stocks, right, have officially started to wet the bed if they didn't already. So you look at CoreWeave and you say, all right, L, where you think this going? $50. Circle Internet Group, less than $60. It'd be at $50 probably too. So where would I get exposure? I think $40 to $50, great, pretty much good prices, great prices for these equities. Now, are both of these companies that I would count out? Nah, I just understand the cycles that they play. So now they're going to dump on retail investors over the next 3 to 6 months to me, right? Over the next 3 to 6 months, they are going to dump on retail investors. So to me, I would look at this and say, this is your time and your opportunity, like I said, to go get exposure into, once again, the right names, right? And so at the right prices, right? So now we're coming into the right prices. Now we ain't there yet. I want to make that clear. We are not there yet. But when it comes to getting exposure into quality names, guys, good prices, we have a very good formula and method for that. So here's the reality is none of these businesses are really fully profitable yet. So these stocks are not profitable, just full stop. So I want to try to get as good a price that I can on these individual equities. So here right now on Circle Internet Group, on CoreWeave, right? Once again, another 40 to 50% drop, and then they become attractive. Until then, just let them fall. Let them fall by night and, let it do what it's going to do. But this is why I stress, do not get caught. Because I remember there was people pushing Circle Internet Group, pushing it. They wanted to push it. This is that Circle Internet Group. And I said, leave it alone. Don't never hop into a new IPO because I've seen it too many times before. Snowflake, we was just talking about one before, Coinbase, right? I was talking about Coinbase and saying, yo, this is a stock and an equity, that absolutely got crushed right out the gates. It never came back to its day one IPO price. It took forever up until this year. Just think about that. Up until this year, Coinbase didn't come back to its day one IPO price. So when OpenAI comes out, which it's going to come out within the next 2 years, you think you're going to touch it day one? You think you're going to touch it within the first 6 months, first year? Just imagine if OpenAI, which is projected to come out at $1 trillion market cap, comes out. You don't think there's going to be a lot of profit taken over the first year? Doesn't mean that OpenAI won't be what we expect it to be. But all I'm going to say is when OpenAI comes out, apply these same principles. You can fool with OpenAI when it comes out day one if you want to. You can fool with it within the first few months. But I'm going to tell you here now, I'm not going to say they suffer the same fate as Circle or CoreWeave because I'm not going to put them in that basket. What I will say is just be mindful when these new IPOs come out, how quickly things can sour and turn. And like I always say, when you don't have earnings, any stock can run. I want to put that out there. Any stock can run. The question is can you hold those gains? The question is, can you hold them? Most companies can't hold them a lot of times because their earnings are not actually available and moving here properly, right? So can you hold those gains is the main question. So we got OKLO up here on the dotted on the screen. And actually, I'm gonna come here to let me put up MSTR strategy Inc. real quick. So let me put up MSTR real quick. So MSTR strategy. Let me go ahead and do that. So everybody should be able to see directly MSTR at this time. So you should have MSTR here is 224. 1 second here, 224 MSTR, right? So at this point in time, MSTR. Two things that I want to cover and make, wholeheartedly with you guys. With MSTU and MSTR, pull up before we get to OKLO because I got some on them. MSTU is down here to $2, $2.07. It's right here in the same demand zone that it was at here March 10th. So I want to make sure that I can help everyone on MSTU and MicroStrategy. This is obviously a Bitcoin exposed company. So they go however Bitcoin goes, right? So what I would appreciate is if everyone could go and highlight and look at their notes and ask themselves, right, exactly what was the price that I gave you guys to get MSTU? Because I think sometimes people are not listening. People are a bit confused. I said $2 to $2.50, in my opinion, would be the best price. Well, lo and behold, where are we sitting at right now? $2, $2.50 range. Now, let's talk if MicroStrategy worst case scenario plays out more. Let's say MicroStrategy comes down here to 182. It has some gaps down here. What would be the reason that MSTR could do that? Well, you have to come to BTC, Bitcoin, US dollar. Well, we're right here at 100K and it's been bouncing 98, 100K, right? So I definitely do think that it is super duper important, right? That you do stress this. So what I look for is at this point in time, can we see BTC get below 98K? Because if Bitcoin gets below 98K, what you think is going to happen to MicroStrategy? Now, I think I'm missing a level here. No worries. I'll just add it to the chart. Right there, MicroStrategy come down to 204. The last thing stopping MicroStrategy 182, which now, looking at the price action here from Bitcoin and MicroStrategy, could we make a case for MSTR to come down here, MSTR to come down here all the way to $182? We can make that case. That's only if, though, simultaneously I have BTC. That's only if Bitcoin is going to drop to 80 to 90K. So that's possible, of course. So if Bitcoin draws down, but are you a buyer of any products there, right here, right? Are you going to be a buyer of those, right? So that's my thoughts on this name, MSTR. You also have MSTU. Let me pull that up instead of BTC. I mean, MSTY. Misty is at $8.95. So you remember the whole craze about these yield max ETFs. Oh my gosh, you can put your money in these things and they're going to give you monthly dividends and you're going to make a ton of money. Remember everybody saying that. Like I said, these things, just like I said with Circle Internet Group and CoreWeave, those are fads. Those end up dying off quickly. Now, notice that with MSTY, look at how much money. And I told a lot of my people, I said, yo, just wait on my number when I tell you. I made a lot of text messages to people last week and I said, yo, you better be buckling up for MSTY at $6-7, because MSTY at $6-7 is probably one of the steals of this decade, right? Being able to get a yield max option income ETF strategy, right? For Strategy Corp, right? MSTY getting this thing, at $6-7 would be, out of this world, paying the dividend yield that they're paying. So you're effectively getting exposure in the MicroStrategy and to understand exactly what MSTY is doing. What they're essentially doing is selling options, right? So they're selling options to generate income, right? So they sell options to generate income to be able to provide you those dividends. So instead of you selling options yourself, they sell options for you, right? So MSTY, like I said, $6 to $7 is the perfect price. I mean, lo and behold, if MicroStrategy pulls down, this gives you an amazing opportunity to get it at a really good price. So Bitcoin, obviously is not a leverage product, but MicroStrategy is. MicroStrategy is leveraging itself to go and purchase more Bitcoins. So when the price of Bitcoin appreciates to 150K, right? All the way up here to 200K, 250K. Think about where MicroStrategy will be. MSTY is a steal. Just Money just stepped into the building. Just Money can account to this, right? Just Money, when I sat down with you and we had dinner together, that was about 3 months ago. And you asked me, and we also had a phone call conversation. This is my guy right here. And I think MSTY was maybe around like 16, 17 bucks, maybe even 15, right? To my knowledge of when we were having a conversation. And I told him, I said, yo, there'll be a better price that comes in. And when it's time, I'm going to send you a text message. Just Money, what I did last week, I sent you a text message with that $6 to $7 saying, hey, lo and behold, let's be on the lookout. He says all facts. So and it was funny because I didn't put your name out there, but I said I was sending messages to my friends and people I rock with last week, getting them ready. And so, boom, here we are now, stepped into the fire, stepped into the fold. MicroStrategy is getting cooked. We understand that it's a leverage product against BTC. So, of course, even if Bitcoin's coming down 20%, MicroStrategy is going to experience more pain. It's just the reality because MicroStrategy is leveraging itself to be able to buy more Bitcoins. So think about this. I mean, as Bitcoin drops, what you think MicroStrategy is going to do? I want you guys to put this in, what they're going to do. And when it happens, I just want you to come back here and say, all right, well, you taught me something. I want you to put in the words, right? The phrase convertible notes, because that's what's going to happen. So MicroStrategy is going to sell stock, right? And what they're going to do is do it through a convertible note to purchase more Bitcoin, right? So I want you to put that down. Convertible notes, right? Convertible notes. They're going to issue convertible notes. Get ready for that, all right? So they're going to sell stock to buy more Bitcoin. Convertible notes. They're going to issue that to buy more Bitcoin. Typo there. Buy more Bitcoin. So I want you to put that in there on your notes. It'll probably, if Bitcoin breaks to like 90K, get ready. You'll see one morning, MicroStrategy issues convertible notes to purchase more Bitcoin. Simple as that. That's what's going to happen. So MSTY, there should be no questions. MSTU, no questions. MicroStrategy, no questions. BTC, really no questions. BTC is sitting right here at this diagonal trend line. So if it breaks 98K, where's it getting ready to head to? It's going to come down here, move down to probably about 90,000. After that, you got a level around 83 to 77K. 83 to 77K. I'm going to say it again. I never see Bitcoin going below 50K ever again. Ever again. Bitcoin will never go below 50K again. The most that you'll get is probably 60 bands, because if it capitulates below 70, it will but there will be so much money at those levels, it'll be out of this world. So MSTY, $6 to $7. This is quality education. So make sure you're taking these notes down. You're getting a masterclass before 8 a.m. We're true to this, not new to this. This is what we do on a regular, day by day, show and prove. So let's keep this party rolling and going. Let's talk healthcare. Healthcare. XLV, everyone pull that ETF up. Now everybody wants to talk healthcare. Huh. Eli Lilly just put one on them. Cracked up and busted through 1,000. Like it comes to a point where the fear mongering got to stop, right? Because when you look at the XLV ETF, this was right here on this chart. I did countless of Zooms, countless of lives, and I told people, yo, I don't know why there's still questions about NVO. Not when BlackRock's backing up the Brinks trucks on them right now. NVO right now is a good investment from a fundamental perspective and a price perspective. Now, when you talk UNH is up here at 340 again. UNH in the long run, let me ask you guys this question, because we're not playing UNH really for just this year, rest of this year, or next year. But I will say, end of this decade, is UNH lower or higher than $500? To me, it's higher, easy. Is UNH lower or higher than $500 by 2030? To me, it's higher than 500 by 2030. So it's going to be higher. So I do want to, like I said, I do want to make that note to everybody that's sitting here. We got to start looking at things from more of a long term. You can't be focused on so much of the day to day that you miss out on the macro level moves. So I don't think I've ever came to the fold and said to people, yo, I'm just, once again, I'm just anticipating and expecting, right, UNH to just recover overnight. But in the long term scheme of things, right, I do think, once again, it is very, 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 very important, right? Very, very, very important for us to be serious and lock in, right, on healthcare, because healthcare is not going anywhere. These companies are going to figure out ways, right, to go ahead and continue, right, to increase, right? Once again, they're going to figure out ways to increase their margins, right, to make their businesses better. Now, did they suffer setbacks? For sure. But just ask yourself, healthcare is not going nowhere. So when we talk MVO and MVOX, same thing that we just highlighted here. MVOX is an easy buy. What did we say? This is why preparation, I think, is so key, because we gave it to him right here on a silver platter. And it wasn't there long. We said in between $2 and $2.50. And we even timed it with MSTU. We said, just remember that. Where is MVOX right now? $2.80. So that's nothing. Where's the offload area? In between $6 to $10. $6 to $10 is the offload area here for this name. So $6 to $10, guys, for MVOX. The question is, as far as MVO, all I'm gonna ask you is this: can MVO go back to 75 to 90 bucks? Do you believe, right? Do you believe that we're gonna go back to 75? Right? Do you believe that we're gonna go back to $85? Right? Do we believe in that? Yes. Do we believe we can go back to $93? Yes. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No. That's the thing I want people to understand, because a lot of times we get caught up in the day-to-day price action of things. What did the stock do today? What is the stock doing over a 6-month period? Because if you get caught up on day-to-day price action, you're never going to be able to catch anything. I just want to put that in the chat for you guys. Day-to-day price action should not fold and move you. A lot of times, day-to-day price action is cooking people, because everyone's focused on what happened on the day-to-day instead of the macro. Some people are thinking that my thesis is supposed to change on companies relatively quickly. Remember, when we go inside here, we talk about, right, MU. And this is what I got to just pull up. Hold on one second. Because now this is why I got to go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to last year. Around this time, we're getting close to this time. There were some documents that I dropped, and I predicted this whole situation with DT. And so this is why I say receipts right here. Let's pull our receipts. I want you to go to my YouTube right now, if you're not on my YouTube, and go to this. This is my semiconductor bearish outlook. You can't fake it. December 11th, 2024. Let's talk about it real quick, because this is why I say, like, you got to be, now we're almost a year into the future. A year into the future. Let's talk about it. Verbatim. This is what I said. I said semiconductors, specifically AMD, NVIDIA, MU, QCOM, appear to be bearish in the short term. Geopolitical, what was the catalyst? Geopolitical and policy concerns. Profit taking, number 2. Valuation concerns and macro outlook. What did I say in the document? I said a rocky February and March is expected. Is expected. What happened in February and March? It was rocky, right? But what did I say? I said price targets for key stocks. I said these levels are likely achievable within the next 4 to 6 months, setting up excellent opportunity to buy these assets. What did MU? I said 75 to 80 bucks. NVIDIA 115 to 120. AVGO 140 to 150. QCOM 120 to 130. TSM 155 to 165. AMD 105 to 120. Where are all these stocks today? Then we're not even going to get into specific sector highlights, stock highlights, NVMI, which we ain't going to talk about because that's a private ticker. But we'll just pull that stock up. You can go pull that stock up. SOXL, sub 15 levels, right? Sub 15 levels. Now, this is what I said. Fundamental strength of semiconductors are foundational for future technology growth, right? This is exactly the levels. Put it all right there on the line for people. Well, let's go even a little bit further, right? So when we do take a look at these names, once again, hold on 1 second. And let me see, we come down. So now let's go back to this Discord. What I can't make this up. This 12/11/2024. I dropped this document. So when I'm putting things out there now, telling you that it's going to take place over the next 12, 18 months, just know that it's going to happen. Don't wait until 12, 18 months later when we document something in the future, but you waiting on it to happen right now. Listen to me carefully in what I'm saying. Now, when you take a look at MU, this is a $246 company. But you had the opportunity to get it like I said you would. Let's go to this. Just check the charts. Where was the stock price at here in March and April? Drop. You got even little extra meat on the bone. You got it all the way dropping down in the 60s, and then price came all the way up and rallied. There was not a person louder than me about MU. Just like when it came to AMD, and you had people saying AMD was dead, it was out of here, right? Remember, AMD was dropping for a long period of time. And remember, there was countless of times that said AMDL. So when it comes to this leverage plays too, pay attention, because when I recommend something leverage at a low, what usually happens? I just pulled up the chart. AMDL, we recommended it at $2, $3. $2, $3. Say, yo, go ahead and get AMDL. Right? So let's go ahead and let's look for this. AMDL. This is why I said, right? Hold on 1 second. We're in the wrong section. Oops. There we go. There we go. Right here. We can't make it up. Let's go ahead and make sure that you guys stay right here. Boom. AMDL. This is 12/10, the day before what I said. So when you take a look at AMD, right now it's going through a correction phase. I think AMD goes down, may even drop all the way. When I'm looking, AMDL, which is a 2x levered ETF. Right now, we're going to see a significant move to the downside, right? So this is what we highlighted on AMDL, right? So we also said here, this was 1.9. Top stocks right there. AMD, MU. Like, I can't make this up. What did I say right there? That's 1.9 this year. 1.9 this year. Palo Alto Network. Nebis. Uh-oh, you don't want me to pull up Nebis, right? 8 right there. NVMI, Zscaler, Coinbase, Amazon, of course, Apple, Caterpillar, JPM, Just Print Money. Boom. The only one on this list that didn't do nothing was Snapchat. Just think about that. The only one on this list that didn't do nothing was Snapchat. Even Dollar General came off day low. Even Roblox. Oh, we don't want to pull up that. And Roblox and what they did for majority of the year this year, when we recommended it at $40, $40, Roblox, AVGO. Oh yeah, TSM. So this is why I say the proof is within the pudding. All this information was here, readily available, right? What did Steven talk about? I went heavy on AMDL today. Well, we see why Steven Steven is who he is. Boom, AMDL. Darrell Peters, longtime community member. Those AMDL levels you put out there were phenomenal. I put a few orders to accumulate. He's an executor. Devontae Hodges, right there, 12/31. Devontae Hodges, he needs his flowers. Jay Monty, he needs his flowers. Any live or Zoom I have, he's on it. Proof is in the pudding. Proof is right there in the pudding. So that's why I say everything is available for you. It could be seen right there. But like I said, things take time to play out. So nothing ever is going to play out day one. And that's what I want people to kind of like really get over. It's like, yo, things not going to play out day one. Things take time to play out. Why would something just play out day one? But when you're serious about this, like I said, when you're serious about this, it's going to make sense for you over time. So I need everyone to drop in the word execute in the chat right now, because I need everyone that's on here that's serious, go ahead and execute, right? Execute. Now we got 70 people that's here in the building. I gave you guys a few free game. I gave you guys more than what I was supposed to give you on this live, realistically. Some things which I shouted out, but now I can talk a little bit about NVMI, because these are some of the secrets that we give away. NVMI is up, right? Up right now, right? Let me see. Yep, right here. You can actually see NVMI is up from 150 bucks all the way to hit a high of 360. So like I told my people was the target, $400 to $600 over the next couple of years. I gave that, and that was never mentioned publicly. There's still some things that we ain't gonna talk about that's it's not gonna be mentioned publicly, but there's a ticker that's about to cook right now for this winter, right? There's a ticker that's about to cook right now during this winter. So execute for those people. This is why I say value is in the consistency. A lot of people can be good at this for a short period of time, but can you do it in the long run? Can you bounce back from a loss? Can you dust yourself off? Can you show up on a consistent basis to be able to provide value? Not every play is going to hit, but when we're talking about long-term investing, we talk about these 2x levered plays. Name me a 2x levered play I missed on yet. I'll wait. Name me a 2x lever play that I missed on yet. I'll wait. It hasn't been, because I ain't missed on it. Name me a 3x lever play I missed on yet. It hasn't been. T triple Q smoked that. SOXL smoked that. It hasn't been. Because I'm only going to recommend it when it's at an extreme pain. What I gave you guys for Kano this morning, 9 to 12, best price. 17 to 22, good price. METU, I'm about to give you another one. And Meta Platforms, you just seen Dan Ives and Wedbush Security and Company. They just added it to their best choice list, or whatever they have running over there. It's called best choice list or fan favorites, whatever that is, right? I can't think. So many things going through my brain right now. But they added it to their best ideas list, best ideas list. It's at METU is at 28 bucks. You don't think getting Meta METU maybe within these ranges makes sense? All I'm gonna say, a lot of times we be fearful of stuff that other people are buying right now. And once again, things don't go in a straight directional line always instantaneously. You got to remember that. So pay attention to these things. So I want everyone to drop in the word execute right now. And I want you, if you are not inside this community today, I want you, because we have an action-packed list of classes next week that's about to go down. And it kicks us off on Saturday. Saturday, we're going to have a class here at Pittsburgh Yards, 11 to 1 p.m., November 15th. After that, Sunday will be impactful. We got two-hour class on Sunday. We got Monday and Monday night. So we got two classes. We got two classes on Tuesday as well. So we got 3 days of just action-packed, 4 days of action-packed value from Saturday to Tuesday of next week. This was a pop-up class today, but I want you guys to get inside this community today. Stop playing around. Stop trying to get bits and pieces of information. Be serious and get yourself locked in and be on the next step of learning, because it's one thing to earn, but it's another thing to learn, right? I think a lot of times people are putting the earning before the learning. If you don't know what to do, that's going to be a recipe for a disaster, right? That will be a recipe for a disaster. So what I do need for everyone to understand is that here, these are the steps and the processes, because the information will be laid out for you and it'll be regurgitated to you countless of times, over and over and over and over again, countless of times. So it's a lot of good stuff here, but unless you're going to execute upon it and you're really going to take it serious, to me, it's not going to take you nowhere unless you're executing upon the information. Some people are stuck on the side of fear, which is understandable, right? There's fear of unknowing, the unknown, right? The fear of what you don't know. But when you take a look at, once again, every day we show up to try to show and prove access. There's a lot of times people have direct questions. A couple people I spoke to yesterday, right? I just want to let you guys know. I spoke to a good amount of people yesterday. Some people is playing around, be honest with you. Some people is like, this and that. Some people is playing around. Some people is really serious. Get serious about this thing. Do not sit around playing around with this information and just be sitting on it, just wasting it. I think that'd be the thing that you could do. And, it just don't really make sense. Like, don't sit around and be wasteful with what you have in front of you right now. Be serious about executing, get into these classes, the volume of classes. And then as well, you have all of this stuff recorded. I cannot make this up. So you don't have to just be live. You can always watch on your own time and go at your own pace. I think so many times people try to jump the line and think that they got to just rush things, right? Reload this up real quick, but go at your own pace. I want to stress that. Go directly at your own pace. Each class is available for you. I want to give a shout out to someone. His name is Mark. He'll miss class, but then he'll go back a month. He'll be gone for a month, and then he'll come in and he'll watch all the classes that he missed at his own leisure. Because we understand that life is going to happen. So you need to be able to have access into, once again, being able to have the recordings. I cannot stress that enough. Having access into the recordings. So I want to say that again here now. Be serious. If you're on this live right now, do not leave this live right now if you're not in the community, and do not DM me the word mentor today. DM me the word mentor today. This scheduled class is loaded. The rest of the 2 months, right, that we have, rest of November and December, is all about preparing for 2026. Get serious about this thing. Be dedicated in this. Don't think that you're going to come in and out and just get bits and pieces of information and you got the full scope of it. A lot of people, like I said, you want something worth having in life, it take hard work. Just because I'm nice at the market don't mean I take off and just say, yo, I'm not going to keep studying. No, you got to keep studying, because that's how you got to keep studying, keep pushing, keep moving, keep reading this information. Some people think that this is just, play around. This is not a playground. January, I'm going to lock in. I'll have more time on my hand. Miss Rose, and that's what I love about you. You always come in when you can and you watch the recordings. That's what I love about you. You don't make no excuses. And when she says it, she's going to do it. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's I pay attention. I know who's watching and who's not. I know who's playing around and who's not playing around. And then I'll say this. Some people is really playing around, and you could tell. The ones who's not, they know everything off the back of their hand. The ones who's not is able to pull up a chart and take a trade by themselves. That should be what you focus on. Getting the reps. Tony just said it. Getting the reps in. It's no different than anything else that you're going to do in life. You got to get the reps in. I don't know why so many times people think they're going to come in for 2 weeks and you're going to be an all-star trader. You're going to know exactly what to do. It takes time, and you got to get the reps in. So if you're sitting here right now, and like I said, you're on this live and you're not inside this community, Mr. Tony, how many times we broke bread, brother? Mr. Tony, you've been in the community how many times? And you give me a call, how many times I picked up? How many times I answered your question? How many times you came with me and locked in and sat with me in person? Because that's just what Mr. Tony does, and locked in with me. How many times I open up those doors, man, and say, yo, come get busy with me. Just so people can see this is in real life. When you pay attention and you show up, Mr. Tony, he ain't going to miss things unless he just can't be there, right? But when he has the opportunity, we broke bread plenty of times. I see my guy right here, right? Broke bread plenty of times. If we've broken bread in real life before, I want you to put that fire in the chat, because I want people to understand this is bigger than, right, just a online. Like I said, many quickly. We went to a few games together, right, as well, too, in real life, right? So, like, when I built a lot of relationships from this as well, right? A lot of good relationships, the examples that are in the chat here right now. And so I'm appreciative of that, right? Caven, relationships. How many times he showed up to my birthday, dinner, and Top Golf, right? So these are real relationships that have been developed in real life through just this platform and this programming. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that's important as well to highlight, to just show people the level of open door, show people the level of access, right? And a seriousness. So once again, this is not just a fly by night thing. And I get that there's been a lot of people that have went elsewhere and said, you know what, I paid such and such. And that's really none of my business. People tell me that all the time. I don't know if that's to just tell me that to make me feel bad or whatever. And hey, listen, if you pay somebody 10, 15 bands for an options course or whatever course, and you didn't get the value, you got to go tell them that. That's not really nothing that I can do for you. But what happens a lot of times is people come to me looking for me to be like savior. And I don't claim I'm not Jesus Christ. So I can't save you from nothing. What I can do is teach you, help you recalibrate yourself, and learn through the tools and the gifts that I have, though. So I don't want anyone to sit here and think that I can be the savior, right? Or I don't want anybody to sit here and think that, once again, if you went somewhere else and you paid someone 10, 15,000, listen, that's not the cost to even get busy with me. But I do think it's a little sometimes disrespectful when my cost is nowhere near that. But I'll say it, my value is way more than that. And I'm going to say that again. My cost is nowhere near that, but my value is way more than that. Because every single week, nonstop, especially when the market gets itself into a little bit of trouble. Notice my tune since last week. I've showed up basically every day. Not that I don't when the market is up, but it's easier when the market is up and there's no volatility in the market. But my volume of classes always kicks up when I feel as if it needs to be, right? And there's something that's prevalent happening in the market. So that's why I said, don't leave today and not send that word mentor to get inside this community. Because once again, we show and prove day in and day out. No ifs, ands, buts about it. We show up to be able to deliver value. And the price that you're getting into the community. I have people that paid a one-time fee, have been here for 4 years. Some people just joined, so they haven't been here long, but they're going to be here 2027, 2028, 2029. So that's the piece of the added value. The added value long term outweighs any other program that you're going to pay. You're going to have to re-up. You're going to have to pay again. Just pay that subscription. You ain't going to have your favorite mentor's phone number. You just ain't. You ain't going to have your favorite member of the phone when things go off. So don't abuse it. Pay attention to what I just gave you in the chat. If real people was paying attention, some people's falling off. But if real people was paying attention, I'm telling you, I'm giving you guys, get on live. If I tell you get on live, you never know what's going to happen. I've had people say, yo, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your generosity. Right? 1 second, 1 second. I think it cut me. It cut me. Start over. Join now. You see? It's crazy. I don't know how that happened, but we about to start it back. Cut me off. They didn't like what I was saying. We are on. One, two, 1, 2. We still here on YouTube though. YouTube is fine. Right. So it did not like what I was saying on the live. I don't know what it didn't like, or maybe it was just a glitch. But boom, we are back. So, like I said, DM the word mentor. What I want you to do right now is DM the word mentor, get yourself set up. Mentor. DM the word mentor. So I said that. Go ahead and DM the word mentor right there. Send it there. So I had to restart the live real quick. Not sure what happened. It just cut off on me. Probably maybe a little glitch or something. You know how these applications can be. But we went ahead and we went over everything here for the watch list. Since I got you guys back here, 225 for those that may have not seen the live earlier. Oracle, right? And make sure you guys stay abreast to my stories. This is just a free play day. Also watch the QQQ. Potentially, if the Qs break down below 618 today, you can see a move to the downside. So what I want you to do for everyone that's on here now, send that word mentor directly. And I threw you guys an alley-oop. That's probably what it didn't like. What I did was I gave you guys to go ahead and lock in with me. Lock in with me. What I was highlighting before I got cut off abruptly was I said, yo, if you went somewhere else and paid, I'm not saying I don't feel bad, but it has really nothing to do with me. It really doesn't. And I'm not trying to be mean by saying that. But the reason why I have to say that is because this is things that are told to me. When you step into this realm with me, these classes, they'll go. I'm telling you here now, and I don't have much to really hide, right? From the fact of you could just come to my channel and see all of the classes that I do 11, 12, 11, 10, 11, 9, 11, 6, 11, 5, 11, 4, 11, 3. We go back here. Day 4, day 1, that was a mentee link up 10, 4, 10, 3, 10, 2, right? 10, 1, 9, 29, 9, 28, 9, 27, right? We have some trade minutes 9, 17, 9, 9, right? So the information is here. Weekly watch list. That's just a Zoom. Weekly watch list 11, 9, 11, 2, 10, 26, 9, 27. Some of those classes are in other channels 9, 21, 9, 13, 9, 7, 8, 17, 8, 10, 8, 3, 7, 20, 7, 27, 7, 6, 6, 29, 6, 22, 6, 15. So if you count in the amount of classes that you're going to get every single week, the value is there. The value is there. Now, is your execution there? That's the main question that I have to ask. Is the execution there? Because the consistency is here. Your execution needs to be there, and be serious. Don't be asking a question that we know we went over countless of times on the zone, right? Don't ask a question that you know we went over, right? Countless of times on the zone. Don't put yourself in that situation where you're not paying attention, right? You're not paying attention to the long-term things. Now, this is what I call value right here. Now I'm gonna show you guys something. Hold on 1 second. I want to figure out the best way to do that. 1 second here. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Do. So we do have right here. 1 second. I want to show you guys the value add that someone has just put into the community. So let's see here. 1 second, 1 second. I want to make sure of something real quick. Let's see here. Y'all stay right there because I got something for y'all. I'm gonna just drop. This is a message that I just received from Cleve, right? And I figured out how to do it. So perfect. Without let's see. This is just a value add. There we go. He said, coach, right? He wanted to go over a couple of things with me. So I want to give Cleve his flowers. Y'all put Cleve in the chat. Because this is how you should. This is the type of. Now, this ain't my work. I want to make that preface that up front. But this is what he says to me, right? He says, Cleve says to me, oops, let me move this out the way. Coach, what do you think about my watch list? Right? Pre-market, TMUS, top, new setup. This is what it looks like, right? So he highlights, this is what he does. He has a stop loss, bearish trigger. Then he also highlights all of his tickers, Lulu, neutral, watching for a breakout of a consolidation box, AXP, SE, which is C limited, Oracle 6, bias is bearish, 7, Microsoft, 8, NVIDIA, 9, IBM, 10, Palantir, 11, Hood. I can't make it up. This is the way that you should have your information set up, right? This is the way that you should have your info set up for yourself. So Cleve is someone serious, right? This is how you understand, right? This is how you understand what's going on. Cleve is someone serious that he's going to send his coach this message. But because Cleve has been in the classes for the past year, he's able to have this and take trades by himself. These are the type of messages that I want to see on my screen. And just to give Cleve his flowers, he's able to text his coach and say, yo, this is what I see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hear. This is what he also, quick journal, right? This is also, hey, not sure who needs this, but this is his. Just giving those recommendations. Love that message. Boom. This is how you text your coach. This is how I know you serious, right? Don't play around. That's being serious. So shout out to Cleve for being a person that he is, of being a serious individual that's going to execute and take the information that I taught him and use it for himself to put himself in a better position. That's why you need to be sending the word mentor so you can get like Cleve. So you can come to the point where you're not coming to me asking me for ticker prices, asking me for ticker recommendations. You're now having the information to be able to do it yourself. Don't be the person that's sitting on the sidelines forever, waiting on somebody else to do something outside of you. So Cleve, that is demonstrating his understanding of the teachings to now he takes it himself and he can make moves. That's why I think that's so important, is because he's making moves on his own. So now you got this 619 area here on the QQQ. Watch it below 618. This is good value, good money, good range. So I just want to make that note for everyone that's sitting here on the live today. Pay attention to the information that's being put out there, because over time it can make sense to you, right? So I want you to put all that information down, have it set up for yourself. Last questions, like this is your time to get questions. Do not leave today without sending that word mentor to me. Do not leave today without sending the word mentor and getting yourself into this community if you want to be like Cleve, right? Sky's the limit is in the building. He's known me since I was 12, 13 years old. So you can attest to this. You can attest to this. I didn't ask him to come here, but he knows me since I was 12, 13 years old, bro. Ain't I been like this my whole life? You know me for half my life, essentially, right? Half my life, right? Coming in, right? You said what was the what for Cleve? What was the price? So that was his information. I'm not going to drop that in there, give all his information away. But what I wanted to do was just to showcase exactly the way it should be set up, right? Exactly the way that it should be set up. So y'all see a lot of people around here that's been around for a minute, man. So I'm just telling you, not new to this, true to this. Definitely not new to this, true to this. So y'all got to big up Cleve in the chat, because he's the representation, him, Remar, Tiffany, right? My sis, Marnie out of Philly, right? Mark just stepped into the building. Those are people that are executing off the information. You can't be sitting around and just playing around with this thing, because nonstop, every single day, we want to make sure that you get the value. Mark sent me a nice voice note the other day, and he asked me about Adobe. And I was like, man, I really want Adobe to come down another 50 to $100. Really, preferably that 276, 231, right? If I was thinking about Adobe, I still wanted to fall another $100. He asked me a question and I gave him an answer. That's value. That's mentorship. You guys not getting that elsewhere. So I don't know why people keep wanting to play like, yo, like I owe them something when I'm already giving you really more than what you're getting anywhere else. Your favorite person, you don't have a number to even send them a voice note. You can't text them like Cleve just texted me. So why are we even debating? 100%. Why are we going to debate? Why are we going to try to discount, my value? I don't know. Not too sure. But nonstop, day by day, we show up each and every single time. So I want you, if you're serious about this thing, you want to get this work. You want to get this work. Be serious and be dedicated about this, right? You have to execute. And you can't be sitting on the sideline blaming somebody else. Once again, these people, and this ain't to knock nobody, but I'm just going off of what I'm being told. I'm not in none of it. I don't beef with nobody. But if you're going to come to me and say, well, I paid 10, 15,000 here, what can I get here? I'm sorry, but you never paid me that. And that's not even what it costs to get active with me. What it costs to get active with me is to me very minimal compared to what the ROI can be over time. So many times I think people are trying to front run and do everything in one day that you miss that this is lifetime access into this community. Why are we debating about, the cost of lifetime access into the community, and you have the recordings available for yourself whenever you need it? Whenever you need it, you can go back in there and say, you know what, L went over this, but I missed it. Whenever you got the time, you could just go click. Like, it's not locked for you, it's unlocked there. You get what I'm saying? So the level of access, right, is undeniable. The level of value, undeniable. We just told you we about to have classes for 4 days in a row. That's more than what a college professor would teach. I had someone tell me yesterday, I feel like I'm in college with the information that you're giving me. The volume of what you're giving me is more than what a college professor would do. I don't even get the breaks that a college professor would get, and they get paid more. So Ellie has answered my text just on a whim. I'm grateful to be part of this community. It's worth every penny. And like I said, I'm not telling no one that this is just their experience here within the community. So that's all I'm gonna say. When it comes down, you got questions, I got the answers for you. But also be patient and let things play out. I think that's another thing too. Don't be thinking that everything got to play out day one or day two. Let some things just play out. I think that's where a lot of times people make the mistakes, and people don't allow things to just come and play out for themselves. So those are my main thoughts. Like I said, I'm gonna throw some alleys. I'll throw some alleys to you guys numerous of times. This market is gonna open up in less than an hour here. There was no class scheduled. I'm gonna take the rest of today and tomorrow to rest up, but we'll be back active on Saturday. So we'll be back active on Saturday. If there's anything prevalent, I set you guys up with some good tickers. If you notice, Adobe is hitting this trend line here. So this is why I said it's make or break territory on Adobe right now. If it breaks, I think Adobe comes down to 231, right? It's going to be moving down here to this downside at 231, and you want to watch it as well at 276. So those are my thoughts on Adobe, ticker Adobe. QQQ, we gave you guys Oracle. Watch Oracle today for maybe a $9 move down if we stay below. It's already below 225 by 4 cents. So it's breaking it now. Shout out to Remar. Remar just texted his coach, said Oracle's breaking 225. That's how you need to be on it. You got to have your alerts. Shout out to Remar. Just seen it come across. He's on it. That's the way I want people to be. So I threw you guys that alley right here. I'm going to wrap this YouTube live up, right? So make sure, I'll pay attention. So right there, definitely go ahead and drop your information in there. So be serious. If you want to execute, be serious. Do not hit me up if you're not serious. Be serious about this thing, because we're going to set you up for success. So send that. Yep. My guy, like I said, he's known me half my life. Congratulations on everything you're doing. Proud of you. He's known me half my life since I was a kid. So he's seen me from the beginning till now. So I appreciate you for being here today, brother. Very grateful for everyone that stepped into the house today. Once again, text and DM the word mentor. Be serious about it. You're going to get a great price that's put in front of you. If you're not in the community today, this is your opportunity to do so. And I'm giving you a favorable price. You got to lock in. Don't just sit around don't just sit around. Get locked in. We giving you an alley-oop. We telling you right now to go ahead and get in. We telling you right now, this is your time to get in. We got 4 days, Saturday, all the way until Tuesday of next week, where we're going to have classes every single day. Name me a community out there that's doing that. I'll wait. I'm done. Name me a community out there that's teaching 2-3 times a day sometimes. I'll wait. Silence. I'm done. Value. That's real value. All these calls are recorded, so you can play them back when you got the time. We know people working. We know people doing night shift. We know some people live West Coast. We know some people are in the UK. We know some people is in the Midwest. So we get that. That's why we record, and you got everything as a plethora. If I told you, you would need to learn Discord to get a raise at your job, people will figure out how to learn Discord. Hey, it's a $10,000 raise if you can learn Discord. Everybody at their job would learn Discord. Discord not that hard to use when you really want it, because all the information is here. All you got to do is get it. You come in here, boom, and click on this class. Back to the basics, beginners week next week. Be in the house. Be in the house next week. Be in the house next week. Back to the beginners. Back to the basics. Be like Cleve. Be like Remar. Be like the top students. Be like Michelle Reed, who's here, I believe, on the YouTube Live. I've seen her, right? Get into this room. Get into this room. So it was free to be on here today, right? So get into this room. Class is in session. So I'm going to wrap this thing up. I appreciate you guys for your time. Send this